Is there anything like weirder in the NFL than the way they hype up the schedule release? Like there's one game that's in doubt. Everything else, the schedule. They're just really banking on those people that haven't figured out the way that the NFL's done schedules for decades now. You play one AFC, you play one division within your conference, in the Patriots' case, the AFC. You play one division in the NFC, the other conference. You play the teams that finished in your position, in this case, last in your division. And then you have this wild card 17th game for whatever, only the third or fourth year here. The Patriots schedule is out. Dave Portnoy announces it. It's a big deal, apparently. And the people are running wild with the wins total for the Patriots. Let's just put it up there on the screen for a second. See if, well, that didn't really work out, did it? Nope, not at all. The Patriots schedule is out. And of course, they are playing a last place schedule. They open up with the Raiders. Think that's pretty cool. Miami, the road game is early in the season. Excuse me. Yes, the road game is early in the season. The home game is the final game of the season. The 17th game is right there, December 1st against the New York Giants. And people are running nuts with what they believe is going to be the record for the Patriots this year. I've seen 10 wins. I've seen 11 wins. Taylor Kyles of Comcast Sportsnet has them at 13-4 this year. Where is that coming from? You expect this team from 4-13 back-to-back years to just flip that and be 13-4. I can't get on board with that. Guys, what are we doing here? Everyone's like so stunned. Oh, the Patriots have an easy schedule. No shit. They finished in last place in their division last year. That's how the scheduling works. And the NFC division they face is the weakest division in the NFC South. So, of course, they're going to have an easy schedule this year. In fact, we knew it the whole offseason that they were going to have an easy schedule. But where is the 13 wins coming from? Where are they coming from? I really like Drake Maye. He's not the second coming. I like Mike Vrabel. Okay, he's not the second coming of Bill Belichick. Drake Maye is not the second coming of Tom Brady. He still doesn't have the greatest weapons in the world, trust me. And there are still some question marks on this offensive line and on this defense. I don't know how you can look at this roster right now and say they're going to be 13-4. In fact, I took a pretty optimistic look when it comes to this schedule. I was like, okay, I'm willing to see this as an opportunity for the Patriots to be better than I initially thought, just because we actually have the schedule in front of us right now, and we all go a little crazy. Maybe not Taylor Kyle's crazy, but we all get pretty nuts with it. Let's look at it here. First week 1, Raiders. Again, this is me being optimistic. I like facing the Raiders in week 1. I've got that as a victory at home, which the Patriots have truly sucked at home the last 2 years. What have they won? 3 home games in the last 2 years? Am I right in saying that? Maybe 2? Beat Buffalo 2 years ago. You beat Buffalo this past year. Both at home. You beat the Jets at home this year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's at least 3 home wins. At Miami, that's a loss. They never win in Miami, ever. Pittsburgh, this is an interesting one because Pittsburgh doesn't know who their quarterback is, and this is very early in the season. But that said, Pittsburgh still makes the playoffs every year. The Patriots used to own the Steelers. I don't know if that's still the case. They did beat them with a pretty bad team in 2023. I'm leaning towards Pittsburgh in this one, even though it's a home game. Then Carolina, that could be sneaky. That could be a trap with how well Bryce Young played at the end of last season. But I'm still giving the Patriots the victory there. So far, 2-2, and I'm taking that to start the season. At Buffalo, that's a loss. Of course, that's a loss. At New Orleans, I flip-flopped on this one. New Orleans is going to roll out Tyler Shuck probably as their starting quarterback. Okay, the benefit of this Patriots schedule isn't just that it's a last place schedule, but that you have some uncertain quarterback situations early in the season. And that's one. So I initially had that as a loss. I've now got that as a win. Oh, and guess what? At Tennessee, I've got that as a win as well. Even though they lost there last year, I've got that as a slight victory for the New England Patriots. And then Cleveland at home. Would you believe I've got that as another win? So I'm sitting here saying, how do they get to 13 wins? And yet I've got them at 5-3 so far. And this is where it gets ugly. Atlanta, that's a loss for me, even at home. At Tampa, no, that's a loss. The Jets at home, that's a win. I've got them winning that game. And then at Cincinnati, loss. It's a miracle they won there last year, to be totally honest with you. The Giants at home, I really flip-flopped on this one. I've got it as a Patriots victory, but if we're going to sit here and say the Patriots are about to make this huge leap from 4 wins to 10-plus wins with this roster, I don't think it's that nuts to be looking at it the other way with the Giants and looking at that same thing. Russell Wilson did enough for the Steelers last year. They've got some good young pieces now with, a guy like Abdul Carter, Malik Neighbors. Maybe it's even Jackson Dart at that point in the season. But I do have it as a slim Patriots victory. Then Buffalo at home, no chance. That's a loss. At Baltimore, that's a loss. At the New York Jets, I am just being optimistic here. I'm going to say they'll beat the Jets twice. I don't believe in Justin Fields anymore, and I don't believe in the Jets facing the Patriots. And then the Dolphins, I've heard a lot about this game, how Mike McDaniel's teams really aren't very good at the end of the season, and they suck in cold weather. Now, those two things would point to a Patriots victory there. Now, that said, the last time the Patriots beat the Dolphins, Antonio Brown caught a touchdown from Tom Brady. Lest we forget, they don't fucking beat the Dolphins. They never beat the Dolphins, ever. So that is a loss. So even in my fully optimistic view of the Patriots schedule, I've got them at 9-8. And that should be celebrated at this point. It's not winning the Super Bowl, but you go from 4 wins in back-to-back years, so 8 wins in 2 years, to 9 wins in the next year, in 2025. That should be celebrated. That is a big step forward for this franchise, for this quarterback, for this coach in his first year, and for the overall morale in that locker room and around Gillette Stadium. Win some home games, and if you win more games than you lose, that is a victory for your New England Patriots in 2025. And again, that's the optimistic view. Pittsburgh has a loss. That could be a win, but Carolina could also be a loss. Bryce Young was cooking at the end of last season. If that defense hasn't figured it out yet for the Patriots, who knows? That could be a loss. Maybe Shador takes over in Cleveland or Dylan Gabriel, and they're really lighting it up, but I doubt it. Who knows with that New Orleans team? I don't have any sort of belief in Tyler Shuck. I think that could be a really bad team, but they've proven me wrong in my thoughts that the Saints would be a really bad team in the past. In fact, in 2023, I thought the Patriots were going to have a nice get-back game after a blowout loss to the Cowboys at home to the Saints, and they were even worse. They get shut out in that game. I think it was 34-0 or something like that. Brutal. So I've been wrong about the Saints before. I would love to say you'd win one of those two, Pittsburgh, Carolina, but even at the best look, I've got the Patriots at 9-8. I don't know where the 10-11 wins are coming from. I don't know where 13 wins are coming from. I don't know how you look at this team and say it's a playoff team. I just don't get, do we all just forget the fucking misery they just put us through for 17 weeks in 2024? That was a horrible, horrible team with a horrible roster. And did it get better? Absolutely it did. Mostly on the defensive side. You look at those first couple of weeks of the season, specifically, Vegas, Pittsburgh, Carolina, which I think are all winnable games for the Patriots. There's a good chance that Stephon Diggs isn't even playing in those games. And wouldn't that be nice that his then first game would be at Buffalo? But if he's on the PUP list rather than the IR to start the season, you're out the first 4 weeks. So there's no guarantee for a guy coming off an ACL injury in October that he's going to be playing in those first 4 games. And if he's not, then you've got pretty much the same wide receiver arsenal that you had last year, the same pass catching arsenal, the same slow tight ends as well. Like it's back to Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, and oh yeah, Matt Collins. That's fantastic. Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, with Travion Henderson maybe getting some snaps because he's also a rookie here, true freshman, to just throw him out there. Same thing with Kyle Williams of Washington State. You're really not, in the first couple of weeks of the season, dealing with much more in the weapons department than you had last year. And that's the stretch of the season where a lot of fans are optimistic of them being like 3-1. But if you have the same wide receiver arsenal as last year, but with Matt Collins, I don't know how you can look at those games and say 3-1, even with the competition they're facing. If Drake May doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to, as Giselle once said, the quarterback cannot throw the ball and catch it. Expert analysis from Giselle. I'm optimistic about this team. I am. I don't want it to sound like I don't think they're going to be 4-13 again. And it helps that you're playing the worst division in the other conference and that you're playing a last place schedule. But I think you're better than the Jets. I think you'll beat the Jets both times. I think you can maybe steal one from Buffalo, maybe steal one from Miami. I doubt both. So you're still dealing with a losing record in your own division. I think 9 wins would be a heck of a season for this team. And who knows, man? At 8-9 in 2022, you lost your playoff spot on the final day. You had a chance on the final day. So 9-8 could get you into the postseason, especially if this Miami team is going to fade like everybody thinks they are. But anyway, no chance I'm seeing 13-4. I'd love whatever Taylor Kyles is smoking, man. 13-4 would be a wet dream in this region. I mean, my goodness. And if that happens, I will be over the fucking moon. Like truly, I will be hedging bets and picking them to go to the Super Bowl if they end up the regular season 13-4. I mean, that would get you a home game in the postseason. Am I wrong in that? Like that would totally get you a wild card home game at 13-4. I mean, Buffalo could well be 14-3 or 15-2. I think they're still going to be pretty good, but my God, 13-4. Oh, I just can't see that. But let me know what you guys think. Give me your record predictions down in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you nothing but Boston sports content 5 days a week live on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts. Check out the other videos on the channel. Let me know what you think about this Patriots schedule release and how far you have them going this year. I'm Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air every day.